Okay, so for you fans of fractions out there, we've gone through a quarter, a half. What's next? 3/4, right? So the 3/4 is, if I go for a quarter and my leg end arm is going under for a quarter, and with a half, my head end far side arm is going under. A 3/4, which is a half plus a quarter, is both go under. So I'm going to take a half and reach through and grab. Do you understand? So it's both under. Here, half, and look, I'm doing the karate chop because I like this grip. It's strong. Here to here. Now I've still got the cutting bone against the back of his head, but I've got my fingers hooked really nice and strong in an S grip. So again, 3/4. All I'm going to do, club the head down, take the half, reach underneath, grab my hand, and I can suck it in. Now, as you can see, I'm also cutting bone against this part of his neck. So from here, I could very easily start choking him. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I just want you to understand, from quarter to half to now 3/4. So again, head side arm goes for the half. Leg end arm goes for the half. At the same time, you get a 3/4. Very simple. We'll show a counter next. Okay, so like I said earlier, anytime the tail, the leg and arm goes under, remember your counter is to sit in knee to knee on the guy. So remember, but you have to grab the head and arm as well, so he can't post and get out and stop the roll. Okay, so go ahead and put a 3/4 on. No, go underneath. There you go. So you got a 3/4, right? So now I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I'm going to raise my arm up, grab this and clamp it. I can also just grab this one as well. And then all I have to do is raise the leg, sit through, elevator him over, and I can take this. Now, if I keep this arm, I just have to roll onto his face. Or I can take any measure of arm locks or whatever, or the outside toe hold. Let's do it again. So, come on this side. Half. Nope, there you go. So it does the same thing. This time, I'm gonna grab the outside arm. I'm gonna sprag up, clamp down, and roll under, elevator him over, and come on top. And then I can very simply take an arm lock or any measure of finishes that we worked on the last time. So it's a very simple counter to a 3/4 Nelson.
So here we go. I'm gonna show another one of my favorite submissions, and this is going off of Jake's 3/4 Nelson. Once we hit that 3/4 Nelson turn, we're gonna go into a north-south choke and a dragon sleeper. So to say a little bit about this first, I'm not cranking his neck on the choke. I'm actually getting his chin in my armpit, and I'm trying to get chest to chest. A lot of people mess this up. They're too high in the air, and they pike their ass, and they squeeze and try and muscle man it, and they get the tap because they hurt his neck or they squeeze his neck. But if you watch, like when Jeff Monson did this in the UFC, when he's done it in grappling, he puts people to sleep. You can put people to sleep with this. You just have to get that nice choke around the neck and go away. And because I have long arms, I'm going to show a couple different ways to get this. A shorter arm people may do it different. But here we go. We're going to hit this. So I have my 3/4 Nelson, right? And I'm not giving him any space, and I'm bumping into him. Now, when I take him and I roll, what we do as he rolls, I'm going to already start to get over him and getting his chin in my shoulder. And I'm going to lock him up. Now, as I start to go back, I'm going to make sure my chest is on the ground. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look in here, I am not on his face, and I am not on his chin. His chin is caught in my armpit, but my body is on the ground. I'm going to take his arm, and I'm going to sink back. And there's my tap. If you have a little shorter arm, you can grab right here on the bicep, go back, there's your tap. I can go to his shoulder, go back, there's the tap. I can also go palm to palm, get on the ground, use my head, squeeze, and there's my tap. So if you see, we got for the long arm people, maybe the muscular people, the short arm people, but you're getting that choke in there. And I like to get that from a different angle, and I'm also gonna add a dragon sleeper. So on this one, Jordan's gonna be here. I'm gonna be over here to the side, and I'm gonna take him straight over. He's over, and I got him. So say I lock out, and for whatever reason, I'm having a hard time tapping him, and I can't quite get it. I'm gonna keep this arm, and I'm gonna slip my grip under and lock in here, if you can see that there. Now I'm gonna bring my knees in, keeping pressure on him, so he doesn't try to kick up and over. Now I'm gonna lift and take a few different taps. There's one. Now I'm gonna step up, pull him up. There's two. Now being very careful. I could also sit, get my hooks in, and then go back. And there's three. And that is your dragon sleeper. Now if you're gonna practice that, be extremely, extremely careful. You can break someone's neck like that. You can snap their neck and hurt your training partner. It's problematic, right? They don't have people to train with. So be careful. Maybe have people watch. And for the guy down here, tap early and often. Injuries to the neck, to the carotid, all these things are very, very real. So we want to take care of each other. We want to be grappling until we're 100 if we can. So practice these moves, but go ahead and be careful.
Okay, so the power 3/4 is a totally deadly move. In particular, I know that this is one that Jesse really picked Billy Robinson's brain on a lot at our camps. By the way, if you're liking this stuff, please check out our camps. Check us out at coachingcatch.com. But this is a counter. I say this all the time. Good positioning will cut off a guy. So you can call it defensive positioning or whatever, but you could just have it by just making sure you're in the right position. You can stop a lot of things from happening, a lot of counters. We're going to show you the way to do it to escape, and then a way he's going to show on Jordan a power 3/4 that there's no way that even this escape that I'm going to show you will work. So this is an escape that'll work. Then I'm going to show you kind of a submission power 3/4. Well, Jesse will show you a power 3/4 submission. But there's really not much of a counter. You're kind of, once you get into position, you'll get the tap. So from a standard power 3/4, go ahead, Jesse. I have to turn my angle. So there, before I turn my angle, I want you guys to notice I'm going to put my elbow in his armpit first. Okay? So I'm going to turn and put my elbow. Then this arm, I'm going to shoulder roll under. So I have to turn. Elbow, turn, and then I shoulder roll underneath, and then come up. Now from here I could do that same move where I went here and walked over and sat on his head and rolled him for a pin. I could take a Fujiwara armbar. There's a bunch of different things that you can do, but let's do it one more time. So he takes it, I turn here and roll underneath, and then come up. I can take all kinds of things with the arm here. And again, you can walk around for a pin as well. So let's take a different angle. Let's go from this side. Come on this side of me. So he's here. I turn and jam. Then I roll underneath him and walk up his body here with the arm. Okay? So again, thanks Jesse. That's a counter to a power 3/4. What we're going to show you now is the Billy Robinson Invincible power 3/4. This is brutal. In my opinion, this is probably just worth the price of this tape itself. But anyway, this is a magical move coming up next. But remember that counter, but it won't work over this next move. Thanks.
Hello everybody. So my favorite move, I'll say again, is that reverse Anaconda, which also has been called a darce or reverse forearm lever. And at the time I was training with Billy, I was competing a lot. And so I'd ask him questions and I would pick his brain. And the thing about Billy is he would just sort of sometimes just say, why do you want to do that? why don't you do this instead with your freaking long arms? I think this would be a better move for you. I think, well, I never really thought of that. And he would take something and he kind of just made this my specialty and worked with me on it. And I would ask questions like, well, sometimes people sit out. Sometimes they won't turn over. They'll grab my elbow. They're too strong. They put their head down. And one of the things Billy taught was when you're doing this turnover, which everybody does, he would always say, with your long arms, you should almost be able to tap them before they ever go over. And so that's what we're going to do here. So first, and this will show well in the camera, would you rather be in this space, have your head in there? A lot of room in there, right? If your head's in there, not so much. There is no hole there. I'm going to be choking you, right? And that was why when the gable grip was all the craze, Billy really stressed this S grip. Because if my hands are here, my elbow's only going so far. But if I'm in this S grip, boom, I can bang them together. I have a lot more mobility to close off the hole around his neck. So as Jordan's here, there's a lot of escapes he can do from here. And then I got in a lot of scrambles in tournaments or rolls where people would try and fight, and Billy, like fixing a clock, fixed me with this. So one of the things he showed me is the grip is almost more like what people would call a Japanese necktie, where you tap someone out from the half guard. And as I get this in, if I can get the pressure and this elbow drops down, as it starts to drop and this comes up, you can actually see I choked him. So before I ever do the move, I got the tap. And what makes that happen and keeps him from rolling is a couple things. As I have him in here and this is dropping, my bicep is really cutting into his ribs. And this foot is up and I'm pushing. So as I'm driving in here, I'm also pulling his neck in. He's not going to roll me. He's not going to reach up and grab me. And this starts to drop down and my head gets here and I pull him in and I take my tap. So if you look, it's almost like I'm stepping over his head for a Peruvian necktie, but I'm just using my arms. So before I ever roll him, I'm in here. This is dropping down. I got a tap. But now I drop my knee down and I tuck his head in and I don't let him get all the way over. I stop him. Now another thing that I really got corrected on by Billy is I don't let go of my hands. I suck that out and pull it out. Now my arms are locked in tight. I get this in and I just dive bomber down and take my tap. I'll do that from another angle. Come this way. I'll do it right here. Have this locked in. That elbow comes down. My head is bracing. There's my tap. But I drive in and roll him. Suck that in. This time I'll go to my forearm, brace out, and flex. Now Billy was constantly fine-tuning things. There was still sometimes on there, in the gi, people would grab my gi and start pulling it and doing things. But Billy figured that out too, how to use catch to keep people from stopping in the gi. And what he had me do was when you're standing in the stance, a lot of times you'll have your foot out, and Billy would call that sugar footing. He wanted you to go and dive for his foot or grab the foot so you can counter. Then he can attack you. So what Billy had me do was sugar foot from this move. So as Jordan goes down, I have him locked. This is all tight. You notice every time I demonstrate this, as I'm going, I get a tap. Because if I don't have a tap, I'm not doing this hold right. I flip him over and I pull this in. Now I'm going to sugar foot him. He wants to get a half guard. Take my foot, please. And I'm going to take my feet, slide them together, and I'm just going to sit out. And if you see, he tapped before my ass ever hit the ground. I know they call this a guillotine, or the twister a guillotine. This is a guillotine. It feels like a blade is just chopping on your neck. Let's get a different angle. Maybe if I get this angle right here. So I got this in. Actually, let's turn this way so they'll be able to see you get that half guard there. Have this locked. Roll him over. Get that in. Sugar foot. He gets me on that half guard. And if you notice, I pike and get my feet together. Now, as soon as I sit, he's tapping already before I ever hit the ground. I feel like this is a game changer, especially with how much people love the half guard. I love half guard. I love butterfly guard. People will go for that. You put that foot out there, they're going to try to get it. Again, we'll say our little, be careful. It's very easy. You wouldn't think someone could go out that fast. As you sit and your butt hits the ground, second or two later, people will go out. One more time, facing this way. Got this locked in. So if we see my positioning, my foot is up. Again, here's that sort of Peruvian necktie motion. I am bracing him. And if you see how everything lines up, my knee is in my elbow. So if he's stronger than me or bigger than me, it's not just my arms that are pushing and twisting. I got pretty strong legs from soccer. I am pushing in with this leg. Boom, there's my tap. Now I roll him, pull that through, lock that up. Come up, sugarfoot. He gets it, put this together and sit. And he's tapping before my butt ever hits the ground. If I could only learn one thing from Billy Robinson, this was it right here. That's how strongly I feel about that. Absolutely my favorite move. Thanks. All right, so power half is a great move. It gives you a lot of torque. You also can do it from underneath, you know, from the guard. I'm going to show a little thing though. Jordan, lay on your back really quick, Jordan. Right there. Turn this way. So a great pin or a great way to control someone, if you see this, if I brace his neck and I lock in here and I get my weight on him, move around, he can't move. He's pinned. It's very painful. It's a way to jump into arm bars, spinning arm bars, straight arm bars. But I wanted to show that because that's what I'm going to do from the bottom. So as we see here, Jordan is going to be in, whether you call it butterfly guard, shelf, whatever, he's going to be on top of me. Now the difference is, I don't want to just get my underhooks and fall back, because if he flattens me out, 1, 2, 3, I'm pinned, right? So to keep him from going, I'm going to control the head. Control the head, you control the body. So if we look, he tries to move into me, I have that same control. He goes to flatten me, I have that same control I had from the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under, and I don't want to just take my hands off and throw him because I need to control his head. So if you see how my hands are touching, this hand just slips and my fingers are still touching here. And now I'm going to fall back and I'm going to take him over. And my leg that's on the side of my arm underhook is just going to shoot through. And I'm going to catch that leg and I'm going to finish him. Now we have a ton of different leg locks, different DVD, different material. I could start to get into heel hooks, taking it over and back, not ripping it across. Switching to like what Billy liked, those different forearm levers. One of the main things you have to do is be careful with this leg. So I'm going to have Jordan do that to me really quick. So if we see here, he has me braced, he takes me up, throws me over, has got it good. So he put his leg right now, he's showing a precarious situation. Because if I could come in here, he has a straight ankle. If I could lock up some of these east-wests and I go back, I put the pressure on his knee. If I come this way, same thing. If I lock, he's making noises already. And I start to go back, the pressure, you can see his knee moving. It's not just an ankle lock. I could really hurt him. So as we're doing this foot has to be alive. So let me go one more time from a different angle. So he's in here. So I got this locked in. I have him braced. I go back, shoot this up and over. I need this leg to be in control. Maybe I hand fight him. If this is here, I might take my leg all the way over and hide it under his hip or in the ground. And whoever I start to go on his ankle, for his heel, whatever it is I'm going to do, this thing needs to be hidden somewhere so he can't take it. Because if it's just hiding out right here, he's going to start to get it and he's going to get me. So that's a great move from there. That's not the only move that has Nelson's from the guard. We also have, when I'm in my full guard here, he's making his hands on the mat. I'm sitting up to like hit a sweep, maybe to hit a double wrist lock or to hit a guillotine. What I'm going to do is take my hand and swim it under. Now if you remember, Jake did this move earlier, the stockade. I'm going to get my foot over and I'm not tossing Jordan in this direction. So if my head is 12 and my feet are 6, I'm actually tossing him this way, right? I'm not tossing him to to the sides. I'm bringing him right back to 12 behind me. I bring my arms, I lift, kick my leg, he goes right over. I block his hips with my feet and bring my arms in. Just like Jake did earlier. I hop off, I start to sit out, and there's my tap. What I would want to do is sit like this, but we're going to save Jordan's neck. One more time. Let's get it from this angle right here so you can see that underhook. I have this in, I'm going. I sit up, lock that in, lock my hands. Whichever grip I like to get, press off this, and I don't toss him to the side, I'm pulling him over me, like I'm shoveling over, and that leg comes up and sweeps in. My knees come in, and my feet come in to trap him from getting half guard or bucking me off and over. This arm swims along my leg and comes over. I hop out, and I'm gonna try to sit out, but I'm already taking the tap because that's pretty painful right there. So if we see, one more time, come in here, Jordan, just on the mechanics of that, I'm not taking him side to side because it's kind of easy for him to post or wiggle out. I'm throwing him over the shoulder. And one more move I'm gonna show. It's very easy for people to hand fight you sometimes. So come over here, Jordan. This is one of my favorite counters. If I'm going for this front bar and he just reaches up and starts fighting with me, I'm gonna 2-on-1 his hand. Reach under, grab under his armpit. Pull this across, reach up and grab. Here comes that favorite move of mine again. This comes out, my leg comes over, I sweep him over, and here we are. Right into our reverse anaconda or darce. Let's catch this angle right here. We're in here. I try that front power half. He starts fighting my shoulders. I catch his wrist. Have that nice 2-on-1 there. Reach under and get his armpit. I try and take his hand. This would be his right hand. I drag it into my right pocket. And as this comes up, I just cup his neck right there. As this arm comes, it drops his head up and over. And I lock that in. This foot comes out. I roll back, elevator him over. And I'm already in that great position where I have him caught. Now I just hip in, squeeze, and take it. And that's a nice counter that Billy taught me if the people are really good hand fighters and they start hand fighting.
Okay, so Billy was such a great resource because I was having problems in some matches, and what really the fact is that I'm kind of a lanky guy, and you go against like a decent amateur wrestler, and they've just got these blast doubles, and you can see it coming, but if a guy's good at it, he's going to take it down. Now, I was at a Grappler's Quest, I think this was 2004 in Vegas, and a really good wrestler who went on and won the tournament, but you learn from your mistakes. He put me right on my butt, and I had him in a guillotine, but I couldn't finish it. And he ended up, I think, getting me in the top wrist lock or something. And that always stuck in my craw. I was like, I had that guy, why couldn't I do it? Why couldn't I do it? So, of course, I asked Billy, and Billy's like, oh, you should have just done this. Now, the great thing is then in the gym, I pulled this off on all kinds of great wrestlers. This is a really good one when somebody bullies you down from a blast double and you end up in the guard, what we call his Saturday Night Ride as a wrestler. You're going to fake the guillotine. So come on this side, Jesse. So we're going to say that he already knocked me down and I'm here, okay? I'm going to go for my guillotine and I can't get it, okay? All you're going to do is you're going to go out to his grandma, straighten your arm, take your thumb, and I'm going to hook it here. And I start pulling it. Again, like a lever. Again, this is a Nelson, right? It's just from the guard. Or he's in the Saturday Night Ride, I get the Nelson on him. But I'm doing a crunch, so I'm crunching in. As I lever up with the arm, I'm crunching in with my ribs on his head, which pushes his head this way, and I'm pulling his arm that way. Opposite direction. So he blasts me, I come down, I hook at the elbow, and I grab. The Nelson part against the head is on my tricep, and I pull it this way. So it's very, very simple to get. You don't have to fight for that guillotine all the time. Straighten your arm out, make sure the back of his head's underneath your tricep, and then do like a oblique crunch while you pull your arm up this way. Very simple way to get a Nelson from the guard. We've covered a lot of Nelsons, right? We've covered quarter, half, further half, power half, 3/4, power 3/4. I mean, there's a ton of these. Full, from the side, I'm going to show you a couple of them. I'm going to show you from the front and from the side, because Jesse also showed you how to do it from behind. When you're behind the guy, you can pull him up on top of you. You can do it from the right, from the back. A simple full Nelson from the front is very, very easy. Now, I'm going to do the side and then we'll do it from the front. These are very simple, but I can just take my power and then I take it further here. Now, when you take it, what I want to do is I don't want to jam his head down like he's going to kiss his ass goodbye. I want to jam his head out to the side when I do this. And I'm going to straighten my arms like that. So I take it and I take it. Now I'm going to push it out to the side. That's very, very painful for him. Okay? Are you okay?
Yep.
Now, turn this way. I can take that same. Notice I did it when I was in kind of a referee's position off to the side of him. I can take it from the front. So I'll be here. I'm going to put his skull in my bread basket. And I'm going to take it here, stuff it, and here, and stuff it out to the side as well. Do you understand? So you can do a Nelson very simply that way. But I want to show you, so that's the full Nelson. Okay? Very simple. Let's do it one more time turn it this way. Again, I'm going to be heavy on him. Here, my elbows are in his armpits. I'm going to start pummeling his head and getting a half. Then I take this over the other side, and then I put it out to the side of his head, out to the side of his body. Very simple, full Nelson. Okay, so like I was saying, there's a whole bunch of different Nelsons you can do. I want to show you some ideas for you guys to play with if you're a leg wrestler. Like I know a lot of you guys that do jiu-jitsu are very active with your legs. They say use your legs like hands. There's guys called leg wrestlers that can leg ride and use their legs in the same way in wrestling. So if I'm going to do a leg Nelson, there's a bunch of different entries. I'll show you 3 easy ones, and you can play with them. Let's say that I get into kind of a top right, a saddle right on the guy. When I get here, if I get behind him and I can get both hooks in or get on him, if he's up in high defense like this, I'm going to get up under his armpits as much as I can. I'm going to take this. If I'm going to attack him, I have to pick a side, but I'm going to step on his foot through the inside. So I have to go inside. So let's just bring your hand back so it's not as hard on you. So I'm just going to step on his foot. I'm really actually hooking it, but it's important to block him from moving his hand. Okay, so this is also why I always tell you guys, keep your hands like paws, not flat out. Okay, because this is what's going to happen. Guy's going to step on the hand. I'm going to reach down. Again, I'm going to jam the head down, but I'm going to pull the arm up. Okay? Now, all I have to do is pull it up, stuff the head, bring my other leg underneath, cross my legs, and I have a Nelson. Now I just roll into him very simply for a tap. Okay, so let's do it again. Take this, here, fall over, and here. And I can start cranking on him, straighten my legs. Okay, one more time. Let's turn around the other way. You doing all right there? These are really rough. Come this way. Okay, so he's here. I step inside on his foot. I grab this up. Now, as I fall, I hook him here and cross my legs. When I straighten, it gets very, very tight on him. You okay?
Yeah.
So again, a leg Nelson from a rear ride. So this is another trick move. I'm not going to pretend that it's super high probability, but you can get it. So get a high defense. This time, let's say I'm off to the side, but instead of taking my head end far side leg and trying to hook it for a side ride or a truck or whatever, I'm going to take my leg, and I'm going to jam it in. So I jam it in here. And I'm going to try to hook this arm. He's not really going to be too cool on that. Okay? So before he really gets crazy, I'm going to kick this one around and try to do the same thing and hook around his head. Okay? Now I'm going to fall off to the side, reach up, and grab his head. Then I can start cranking. Okay? So, back. Let's turn this way. Okay, now, again, I'm not going to take the head end far side leg. I'm going to take the tail end near side leg, jam it in, and I'm going to try to hook this arm or get him to take it. So again, it's another sugar foot. If he takes this arm, he's in a lot of trouble. Now, of course, I could just take this and roll him over for the Nelson, but we want to be fancy, right? We want a highlight reel. So I'm going to kick this over, and I can put my hands on the mat, no problem. Kick this in and put my Nelson here. Then I pick a side, fall off, sit up, pull the head, and tap. So just another variation of a leg Nelson. So you can also try to get your leg Nelson when you're off to the side from a quarter. So if Jesse goes to high defense and I take a nice quarter, I'm going to jam him down. But I don't want to break his arm down all the way. I want to not roll him over it. So as he goes here, I'm going to replace here underneath his, my shoe's going to step over, so the gram on my knee is going to switch from the Nelson, going from a quarter of my hand to a leg Nelson with grandma. I'm going to fall. Before he can roll, I'm going to kick this leg over so he doesn't roll. Then I take this arm, tap, and I start pulling. So, let's do it again. Okay, you all right?
Yeah.
So I take the quarter and I don't want him to roll. Before he does, I put my weight to stop him from rolling and I catch him. Once I catch him, I very simply fall to my side, grab the hand, it's caught here, and I pull.
Tap.
Very easy. So, the trick is, and let's do one more angle, turn all the way butt to the camera. One more time. So, take the quarter. As he goes, I step under. Here, now, as I fall, pull the arm up, grab this wrist, kick the leg over, tap, and start pulling. So, from a quarter Nelson into a leg Nelson.